Hello YouTube, this is Abbott242, and we are back at the Kerbal Space Center in the game, the Kerbal Space Program. Today we are going to be launching a replica of the Gemini missions to follow up after our Project Kurcury video. Look at it, it's on my channel. Basically, we're going to be doing an orbital rendezvous, which is where you launch up one spaceship into orbit, and then launch a second one after it, so they meet up in space, and they dock together to become one spaceship. And then they separate, and come back down. It's a lot more complicated than it seems, because you need to get timings right, you need to negate velocity, all sorts of neat things. Regardless, the first vehicle we're going to launch up is the Agena spacecraft. It was used by NASA, it's the unmanned target vehicle for the Gemini spacecraft. It would just sit up in orbit for the astronauts to practice docking on. So, here we are in the vehicle assembly building. Let's choose, say, a nice little probe core here, the RC-001S Remote Guidance Unit. Should do it. And, what else do we need on a basic rocket? We'll need some fuel, so let's go with that. Little fuel tank. A bit bigger. Too big. Way too big. That should do. Maybe fuel tanks could look nicer. We could use this one, actually. So I might do is, yeah. I'll go with this one. It looks more like the real spacecraft. So after that, we'll plop a little engine on the bottom with the LV909. Mainly used as a landing engine, but it doesn't matter, does it? What else do we need? An antenna. That'll do. Neutron 880. Another antenna. Whoop. Line it up a bit more. Let's add some batteries wherever they are, because probe cores, they actually consume electrical charge. So in order for them to run and for you to be able to use them, you need to have power. What else? Let's just, not sure if this is actually how the Agena spacecraft looked. I'm very sorry, but I will slap some solar panels on it too, because it's Kerbal Space Program. Who doesn't like solar panels? Let's get some double C accelerometers, press mat barometers, GravMax negative gravelli detectors, and to top it all off, thermometers. What else could this spacecraft use? Well, we're going to be docking with it. So, what should we need? Whoops, but a docking port. The Clampotron docking port. If you put two of these together, like this, a little magnetic field which will lock them together, like that. And then they just sit there. So we'll have that there. And, if I do a terrible job and can't get at that one, does this look good? That doesn't look that good. I'll just leave it with that one. So, looking pretty good for our spacecraft so far. What else we need? We're going to need to bring it down out of orbit at some point. So, if that fuel isn't enough... Oh! I just made an error. That engine would not actually be able to get fuel through these batteries. So, we would never have actually been able to use it. If I put the batteries up there, however, it will work just fine. And if for some reason that isn't enough fuel, I'll add some retrograde boosters here to knock it out of orbit when the time comes. These are from the KWrocketry mod, the utilage motor. Really high-powered miniature solid rocket boosters. We'll separate that from it into a different stage, so they can fire after this engine's gone out. I am terrible at staging. There we go. And we're going to probably want a parachute. So we will grab that too. Mark II, our radial mount parachute. Where's the center of mass on this thing? Out there? Okay. We'll be out of fuel, so it might actually be a bit more up there. I'll just plop them there. That should do it. And docking can actually be pretty hard without decent lighting. So, from the B9 mod, I'm going to add some A1 spotlights to it. 6 of them. I'll move them there, and then tilt them up and in. There we go. So, we can now light up the docking port, so we know if we're coming to it. That should do. The Agena spacecraft. Let's name it. Agena 1. Save. Now, of course, we're going to need to launch this up on something. So, also from the KWrocketry mod, we are going to take the, where is it? Fairing cones. There it is. 1.25 meter expanded fairing base. Slap that on there. We can take some expanded fairing cone halves. Can they go down? No, that won't work. Up there. And then we simply build a wall around it. No, not big enough? Okay, fair enough. This fairing cone is too small, and the rocket will not fit in it. So, I'll upgrade it to the 2.5 meter fairing base. Bit bigger. Still be unable to, yeah. Point that up there. Walls. That's sticking out. Interesting. I'll just ignore that. Pretend it isn't there, YouTube. There's the Agena spacecraft. We'll need something to put it into orbit, of course. Besides that little engine it has. We can use that too, of course. I'll grab a little fuel tank. Slightly bigger engine. The Maverick 5. There's the final stage, I suppose. Utility structural. Let's go for a interstage decoupler. It's just slotting around the engine, and when I hit the space bar for staging, it simply explodes and causes anything underneath it to fall off. I'll have another one of those handy, so we don't have to go through all the pages and pages of parts. Whoops. So, what else does rocket need? More fuel, of course. No, I won't go with that one for now. I'll stick with this one. Let's sort of make it bigger and bigger over time. I'll get up to another one of these. Would that be enough power? Seems legit, yeah. It should work. Another interstage decoupler. There. Can't see anything. And then the big fuel tank, the SB4 LFT. We're in the floor now. The issue with the fairing cones is every time you want to move your rocket around, you have to take them off so you can actually reach the core of the rocket. Slide it up. Find your engine, the Griffon G8D. Pretty big engine. Very big engine, actually. And there we go. I'll drag it back down just so it looks... Whoops, took off the spotlights by accident. Just so it looks nice. That'll do. Put the fairing cone back on. Come back down here, and what more does a rocket need than more boosters. So we're going to add some solid fuel booster rockets onto the sides of this. We'll take some TT-70 radial decouplers. That's 6 boosters. A bit lower down, maybe. And we want it to be stable, so we'll take a few. How big is this fuel tank person? Maybe 4. Yeah, that'll do it. And then we can simply go back to the propulsion tab and grab some boosters. The Globe 5? No, what is that? Globe 6. Globe 6 SRBs? Looks good to me. Could maybe actually move that one up a bit. That'll do. Perfect. Agena 1. Save it again. Mission flag. What should I take here? I'll just go with the KSA. Kerbal Space Agency with the NASA type flag. Looks pretty good. So, save it again. Is my staging correct? No, that was close. I'll drag my main engine down. Whoops, no. My main engine. Right down, those are the booster separators. Next stage, engine. Next stage, engine. And I have the parachutes, actually, set up after the retro boosters. Wrong one. There we go. Save that. And let's launch it. Alright, so why didn't I launch that time? Well, I didn't have the autopilot, and docking requires a lot of RCS, the reaction control system. It allows you to move around in space, translating and rotating. I did not have an RCS system set up. That would be quite problematic. So FL R25 RCS fuel tank. Docking normally requires a lot. I'll take 2. And after that, into control, we'll take our ASAS module, the Inline Advanced Stabilizer, and some Mark 1 RCS quads. Where's center of mass for this thing? If I can check. If you want to translate your ship, you want the RCS quads to be close to the center of mass. If you want to rotate it, you want to be as far as possible from the center of mass. Go there. That's where the parachutes are. Right. Move them down a bit. And then, no, I'll have another pair up here to make up for that. There we go. That should do. Set. And now my firing cone is too small. Move it up. Go back into the aerodynamics tab. And, whoops, go too far. Find the 2.5 fairing wall meter. 2.5 meter. Whoops. Save. And launch. This time, hopefully for real. Here we are on the launch pad for real this time, with our new and improved Agena 1 rocket. We will throttle up 2/3 thrust, SAS, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, booster ignition. And here we go, slowly coming up off the launch pad. Rocket's spinning a bit already. It's too soon for that. Alright, here we go. So we're going to try and put this into an orbit at about 100 kilometers. And then we'll leave that there and build the Gemini spacecraft afterwards. Rockets. Yeah. Not really too much to see here. It's just a rocket. Lots of fire going up through the sky, carrying our payloads, so we can see if we can actually manage an orbital rendezvous. Boosters are now at half fuel. We're at 2,000 feet. 2,500 meters, I mean. When you think about it, rockets are actually going very fast. I mean, we're moving at 136 meters per second. That's a long way in a second. And when we're in orbit, we're moving at over 2 kilometers per second. It just boggles the mind, really. Escape velocity from Kerbin is 3,000 meters per second. I mean, just run that one through. It's pretty fast. Or 5,000 meters. I mean, yeah, 5 kilometers. Those of you who are Imperial, 1,000 meters is a kilometer. Boosters have burned out, so I can drop them. Oh, bit of lag. And there we go. Just falling. Oh my, we're actually slowing down a bit. My engine doesn't seem to be doing the best job of keeping me stable here. I'll have to throttle up a bit. Oh crap. Hard to steer. Engine overheat warning. We still have a while on that though. And 10,000 meters. So we will start our gravity turn. This is just to be a bit more efficient. We're trying to put ourselves into an orbit. Go to 90 degrees. Activate autopilot. Stop! No! Oh, this is bad. This is way too far. Way too far to leaning over. Can actually go a bit this way to try and negate that. There we go. Now move back. Move back. Move. Oh, engine burnout. Stage it. Next engine. There we go. Coming up slowly through the atmosphere. Our rocket is getting smaller and smaller. We're already a kilometer and a half away from the previous stage. See the Space Center down there? Hi, Space Center. Almost 400 meters per second. Very fast. It's going to map view using the M button, and here's our flight path. We are still on a ballistic trajectory, meaning we're going to crash if we cut our engines. So, we will just leave it to burn. Now over the ocean. We're at half fuel on the stage. I think that these engines are a bit more efficient than the last one, though they do produce less thrust. That's normally how it works. If you want lots of thrust, then you have to go with low efficiency. If you want lots of efficiency, then you're going to have to settle for low thrust. 28,000 apoaps. We're going to try and make our apoaps be raised up to 100,000. 100 kilometers above the surface of Kerbin. Oh, yep. Oh, that engine burned out. Activate the next one, and drop the fairing cones. See you later. Peeling like an orange, spinning down. You can now see our spacecraft in its full glory. You can actually throttle down a bit. to 1/3 thrust. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to use a little engine on the Agena 1 spacecraft, actually. If we don't, I fear we will not make it into orbit. Another neat thing about docking is, once you've docked 2 spacecraft together in KSP, you can actually transfer fuel between them. So if you have a stranded spacecraft with no fuel in its engines, you could dock another spacecraft to it and give it some of your fuel, so it can then use it to save itself. It's quite neat, actually. You can also do that with the monopropellant for the RCS systems. Tilt over a bit more. Where's our Apple apps? 91,000. There you can see the Kurcury 1 capsule. Look over there. 98, 99, and 100. 101. It's the 101 to getting to orbit and docking. Add maneuver at our Apple apps. This is just a guideline for what we should do. Drag that out. And the dotted line is not our actual flight path. This is what our flight path will be if we follow the maneuver. Whoa, way too high. I can bring it over here. What's that? 96 and 104. Close enough. I may have to raise the periaps later. So, we turn around. We may actually not have to use the landing engine. I think that we will have enough fuel. We done good. Alright. So time warp to the node. Not actually to the node, just slightly in front of. You want to finish half before, half after. Crap. Which I failed to do drastically. So, just burn full throttle now. That was close. We will not get into the orbit that we intended now. And, nope. I lied. We will have to use that. And our retrograde boosters. Because why not? Well, because I hit the spacebar by accident. Oh well. If this runs out of fuel, we can simply transfer fuel over. Right? This may be an issue. This may actually be a pretty big issue. Are we still after our epaulets? Yeah, we are. We're falling, in other words. Desperately trying to save ourselves now. Maybe I can use some RCS, try and help out a bit. Don't think it's making too much of a difference. Nah. We are going to need that RCS fuel if we actually get to orbit. Still falling pretty fast, actually. But we're almost in an orbit. We're getting there. Oh, there we are. We have a periaps. Too low, but it's raising. It's raising. 20,000. What's our apps at 106? Oh wow, that's not good. We'll need to just trim our orbit later. In other words, we're going to have a very high apoapse, but at least we won't be falling to our death. 70, 74, 79, 80, 82, 83, 84, 85. That's not in the atmosphere anymore. We'll leave it there for now, and once we come around to our apoapse, we'll fix it. And then when we come around to our new periaps, we'll fix the apoapse, because it's way too high. So on the prograde burn until we get to... Crap, that'd be way too high. $140. Whoa. Don't want that. Ah, crap. Maneuver. Prograde just a bit. What does that bring us to? Something I can't read because it's glitched up. What is this? Never seen this before. That's messed up. There we go. Oh, brings us to 95. Burn a bit more. Let's get us to 98. 102. That works. So, that's only 12.2 meters per second. A 2-second burn with one of the weakest engines in the game. Not that much. Point at the node. And warp. You can see that our electrical charge is slowly dropping because we have the probe core, which is sucking it up bit by bit. Actually, nah, won't open the solar panels yet. We do have enough electrical charge to sustain it for quite a while because we put those 3 batteries on, the bigger batteries, mind you. Four minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. Slow down our warp speed. Warp up a bit. Under acceleration. Interesting. 1 minute. We'll start burning at about, say, 5 seconds. I won't take it at full throttle, so about 5 seconds should work. Five, 4, 3, 2, whoops, 1, no, whoops, whoops, Walton, there we go, and burn. Can we get it right, can we get it right, can we get it right, can we, cut, nope, almost, cut, burn a bit, cut, burn a bit, cut, burn a bit, there we go. Oh, so close. So, now we have a higher periaps, closer to what we actually wanted. But now we're in an elliptical orbit, shaped like an egg, not a circle. We don't want that. So when we come to our periaps, add maneuver, we will burn retrograde to decrease our apoapse. How much is that now? 90. Ooh, not good. Bit higher than that. Periaps 102, apoapse 105. Pretty good. 33.6 meter per second burn. And I've lost control of my ship somehow. It would seem I've encountered a bug. Oh, there we go. Time warping fixes it. Not good though. Developers fix it. Alright, so we come around. What do we got in our spaceship here? We could try opening up our solar panels. Extend panels. AUX 4W 2x3 photovoltaic panels. And there'll be some more on this side too. Extend panels. That looks nice. There you go. The other thing we have here, oh right, the antennas. How could we forget? Toggle, and oh, it's gonna no clip with the RCS thruster now, isn't it? Toggle. Toggle. Ah, there we go. Yeah, a bit of no clipping going on there. It's fine. Looking pretty good. Pretty good. Alright, warp around to our periaps for our next burn. 11 seconds, so we'll start burning at about 15, I think. Once again, I won't take it at full throttle. If it's smaller burns like this, I don't like to take it at full throttle. I find that that's a bit more reckless. It's hard to control it. And you can sometimes overburn or underburn it. Most likely overburn. Regardless, it isn't good. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on, warp. That was close. A little bit of lag here. Just a bit. Not sure why. Alright, and burn. Yeah, we don't even need to. You could have started burning a lot later. .6, good enough for me. What do we got here? Cool. Nope. We got 102 and 104. Wow, even closer. That looks pretty good to me. Well, this was part 1 of the Kemini part. It's going to be Kurcury, Kemini, and Kerpollo, where we go to orbit, rendezvous in orbit, and then finally go to the moon. So, I have been Abbott242 with Project Kemini. Thank you for watching.